Hi guys, welcome to this webinar for test-driven development. Uh, Before I start uh, working on the webinar, I just wanted to give you the background of this. So the whole idea of this webinar is not to get into the details of why test-driven development is required and those kind of things, because most of the time I have seen that people are aware about what test driven development is all about, why we need it, but the problem comes when we really start thinking like uh, how to create a design based on a test, how to really do the test driven development. So that's where the whole problem comes. I and also I have seen that uh, this problem cannot be mitigated just by going through certain books. If you see how it really works in action, you get a lot of insights about it. So that's why this the whole idea of this webinar is to give you the uh, hands-on demo how test-driven development really works. And so in during this webinar, I will be taking three exercises. Two exercises will be small one, and the last one will be little bigger. Uh, After the webinar is over, you are open to ask the questions, but at the same time, you don't need to basically hold your thought. You can keep putting your questions in the Q&A section, but I just want to make sure that I will be answering those questions after the session is over. So let me begin with it. So before I start doing the hands-on, let me set my Eclipse. Just a moment. So let me put it as a general. Okay, so it's already there. So for to begin with, let me give you a brief idea what test-driven development is, and that's what the whole strategy which is mentioned over here will be following in the exercise as well. Uh, so So if you see the brief idea of the stream development, what you do is you write based on the user story or the problem you in hand you have. You write the test cases. You try to make sure that those test cases are compilable after some point of time. So you are making them compilable. Uh, Fix the compile errors. You see that the test cases are failing. You basically write the code base in order to make sure that test runs. After test runs, then you see whether there is any kind of duplication or any kind of performance improvement, or any changes are required in the code from the optimization point of view, and that's where you do the refactoring, and that's how you basically continue the whole cycle of the writing tests. So the basic idea is that you write tests first, uh, make sure that your test runs based on your code you make, and then you refactor. So this is the whole cycle we will be looking at during this webinar. So let's try to see our first problem. So the first problem is a string joiner. So string joiner class job is to join string. What join means is joining a list of the string means creating a single new string by concatenating the string
Hello
in.
everyone. The flag hoisting ceremony has been delayed by 15 minutes due to rain, which will now be done at sharp 2:15. This will be followed by a patriotic performance by the kids from Ankh, felicitation ceremony, sweets distribution, and kite flying in the end. Please join near the first floor ramp area.
Sorry about the disturbance, but these are the Independence Day celebrations happening in India. So just to continue where I was, so join string is joining a list of the string where you may have the delimiter. So for example, if you have a string called ABC and the delimiter is comma, then you should get the result as a comma B comma C. So based on this user story, I have written certain acceptance test cases. So first test case is about like giving a list of empty string, and delimiter
The flag
is
hoisting ceremony will now
uh,
be done at sharp
sorry
2:15.
about that.
This will be followed by a patriotic performance by the kids from Ankh, felicitation ceremony, sweets distribution, and kite flying in the end. Moreover, the wall of freedom is still open, so you can still give your thoughts over there. Please join us and make this Independence Day celebration a huge success. Thank you all.
So first test is given a list of empty string and the delimiter. Let's forget about delimiter for now. And if you apply the string joiner, then you should get the empty string as a result. So in order to do that, let me create a project in Eclipse. I'm creating a Maven project just to make sure that everybody understand I'm using Java in this webinar. Uh, but the concept which I'm trying to describe over here are applicable everywhere. So that's not a problem. So what I'm trying to do is I'm creating a uh, project. So the project is creation is done. Now, what I want to do is I want to make sure that in order to run the test cases, the related dependencies are available. So for in this demo, I will be using JUnit 4.12. Basically, that is more or less called as JUnit 4. uh, and then basically I will see if I can use this Hemcrest dependencies as well. So let me see the Hemcrest dependencies. So this is where it is. Let me add those dependencies. And with that, I have a setup with which I can write the test cases, JUnit test cases in Java. So let me write my first test. So this is a test about string joiner. So let me call it as a string joiner test.
We are all set for the flag hoisting ceremony. Please join us as soon as possible. We are doing the flag hoisting ceremony in next 2 minutes. Thank you.
So as you see, the test is all about like I should get empty string if the list contains nothing. So let me write the first test case. Should return empty string if contains list is empty. Fine. So this is my test. So let me write the test first. For in order to make sure that string joiner works, so let me create a string joiner. Joiner is equal to new string joiner. Fine. Then I need a list which contains nothing. So let me create a list of string. String list, or I can just say is strings. New array list and string, and let me add the dependencies over here using import. So you have a empty list. I can just rename it as empty list as well. Empty list. Fine. And now I want to write the test. So assert that. So with that, this is what I need. So the result is, so basically what I want to do is before, so I want to give empty list to joiner, and then it should return me a result. So this result should be empty string is empty string. And that's all the test is all about. Let me remove the dependencies, problems here. Okay. Is so, just a moment. And this is the test we have. So as you see, this is not compiling, but at least we have a test which says what we want to do. So let's try to make it compilable first of all. So for that, I need to create a class. So let me create a class, string joiner. So create a class string joiner. I want to create it in source main Java. Now, so this compilation error is gone. Now, I want to make sure that joiner dot join, fine, and I want to see this method is also there. So it creates it's and a new method has been created over here, and which returns null as of now. And then I think that's about it. Let me run this test. This test is compilable, but it fails right now. So it says assertion error. Expected is empty string, but it is returning null. So what I can do is I can change the string genre in such a way that it returns null in empty string. So that's what I'm trying to do here. So I would say here, so if list, I should change the name here, string list strings, and strings is empty. So it should return this one, otherwise return null. Fine. So let me see if it works. So with that, our test works. So the second test which I want to write is, let me see what the test is. The test is given a list contains a single string and the string joiner is applied, then it should give me the same string. Fine. So let me try to do apply the string joiner on a single string and then see how do we achieve that. So let's try to write a test here. Test. So should return single string if list contains single string. Right? So with that, what I do is string joiner, same thing, joiner, new string joiner, and I create a list which contains one single string. Fine. So let's try to do that. List string uh, strings, new array list. Fine. And add a string with here, a string. Apply a string joiner on it. Uh, Joiner, join, and then pass the strings over here. So I should get a resultant string, join string, fine, and then I can assert that. So join string is a string, fine. So this is my test, and it is compiling now. And if I try to run it, let's see what happens. So it fails, assertion error. So let me see what I need to do to make it pass. And I go to string joiner. So the problem is like, or if the string is not empty, if uh, strings is empty, is not empty, fine. And strings if strings size is 1, then return.
Rain during the celebration. This is going to be indeed memorable. With a slight change in the plan, we are going forward with all the remaining ceremonies in GL Club now. And yes, we have the dhol too. So rock and roll and join us in GL Club. Thank you. Happy Independence Day in advance to all of you.
So so that's what I'm trying to do here. So in case string is not empty, that's what happens. And in case string is empty, this is what happens. So I need to remove this one, and I just say else. Fine. Else. Or I just remove this whole else as well. So I just say return empty string. That's it. So what I'm trying to do is, if a string is not empty and the size is 1, then return the first string. Fine. So let me try to run the test. So the test pass, and let's see the next one. So this is the one which is very important and actually gives the actual functionality of the string joiner. So what I want to do is, if there are string A, B, C, and which are delimited by comma, then and when you apply the string joiner, I should get A comma B comma C. So let's try to do basically use a string joiner over here. So let's create a test. Test and should return delimited join string if when list contains multiple string. Fine. So before I do that, I think one thing we just forgot, which was about like whenever you pass the test, you see the opportunity of the optimization and any duplication which is happening while writing the test or writing the code, and we can do the refactoring at that point of time. So let's try to see what is there any kind of issues what we are writing so far. uh, so if you see in these two tests, string joiner, empty list, or the list, these things are repeated, and instead of repeating in each test, what we can do is we can extract them out or refactor them out uh, in a before close, or so we can write an init method over here, and what we need to do is we can move this whole stuff here. Fine, makes sense. And this joiner needs to be a field instead of a local variable. Fine. So that's what we need to do. Joiner field. So we have changed it to field, and similarly we need to change the field as well. Fine. And instead of saying it is empty list, we need to say it list or string list or strings. Fine. And with that, we can change this one. So when basically refactoring this one, what we can do is rename it so that it is applied everywhere. So now the compilation change is gone. So now we can remove these ones as well because they are not really required. And so with that, we have the test which removes the duplication. And what we can do is or we should do is to run the test cases whether they are still running. So they are still running, so they are fine. So with that, let's move to the next test. And the next test is about should return delimited joint strings string when list contains multiple strings. So let's first of all add multiple strings uh, to to the list, to our string list. Fine. So that's what I'm trying to do. Strings add a, strings add b, and strings add c. Okay. So now what I need to do is I need to apply again the string joiner here. So joiner dot join and apply the strings here, and this is join strings. So let's try the test case assertion. Assert that, and assertion is join string is a comma b comma c. Make sense? And if I run this test case, it should fail. So you see, this is failing. And let's try to see what we need to do to make it pass. So let's move to the string joiner. So if you think about um, three strings. So the important thing to consider over here is that the comma is coming before the next string and another next string. So what we can think about it is like the first strings plus comma second string plus comma third string. So that's how basically we can think about the manipulation of or the logic of it. So let's try to do that. So first of all, the first string is this one, uh, string, first string, and we can assign the first string to this one. So assign first string. Uh, Sorry, this is already declared. So remove this one. And then what we need to do is string or return first string plus uh, so what we need to do is first when in case this is the case, then basically string return first string. So that the first test case we wrote should not fail, should pass. Now in case size is more than one, so what we're trying to do is first so we create a subset of the strings. So list string subset. and that's what we do. Strings subset sublist. So from index is 0 and index is 1. Fine. So we have got the sublist or remaining string, and then we we need to get the we need to apply the delimiter to the remaining string list and should get some outcome. So what we need to do is join sublist and remaining string, and uh, so that's what we need, but this method is not there, so let's create this one. So this gives us first string and we need to so this is what it is. Why it is not compiling? Let's see. So it says that first string is not initialized, so let's initialize it to this one, and and so this is first string. Okay. Okay. And now we can basically create a joining string with this list. So let's try to do that. String, remaining string, and we need to have a delimiter as well. Delimiter. So this delimiter needs can come from a constructor. So we can do that. String joiner, and we can pass the delimiter here. Create the field from here. So this is the delimiter, and so now delimiter, we have the delimiter, and we say the result is this one, and result is equal to plus is equal to delimiter plus result, right? And we say send it to result. That's all about it. String to join, let's change the name. So string to join result. I think that's about it. So it is asking for the delimiter, so I'll provide that. Okay, let's try to see whether it works or not. So now, because of the delimiter we have added to this constructor, all test cases are failing. So let me pass a delimiter here. So the delimiter is char delimiter is comma, and that's what I pass here. Right. Let's try to see if it works. So this doesn't work. So just a moment. Let me see what's going wrong over here. So first is, this is the column. String size. Fine. And this one, string, what we can do is plus is equal to. Now I think it should work. Let's try to see. Yeah, it works. So as you see, like with the tests, we have been driving the design of the string joiner, and this is the way it works. We can take another test case or the scenario which we will see over here. So let's try to see. So the next one is an account balance. So this is also a very simple one. So what I'm trying to do is I have $100 in my account. I deposit $50. I see my account contains 150. I have $100 in my account. I withdraw $50. I see the account balance as a contain 50. And similarly, in case I try to withdraw more than what I have, I should still see my account contains $50. Fine. So let's try to see how we can do that. So let's create a test case for account balance. So J test case account balance tests, and let me just copy paste these scenarios so that I can create the test cases around them. Um, Okay. So first test says that if I have $100 in my account and I deposit $50, I should see my account contains $150. So let's try to create a test around it. Uh, so should see 150 and I deposit 50 to account. Fine. So let's in order to work on that, first of all, if we think about it, like we have some entities called account, and for when basically I deposit to the account, then I should see as a account balance. So these are some certain entities which comes into my mind. So let's say account, new account, and account deposit 50. Before I talk about the count, it also says that what is the initial money I have. So let's say $100. And so let's now after I apply the deposit, let's see my account balance. Assert that account current balance, and uh, current balance should be is 150 is matcher. And let me remove this one. Okay. Okay, so this is the test case I have, which is not as of now compiling. So let me make sure it compiles. Let's create a class which is called account, and this should be created inside source main Java. So that's what I'm trying to do. So it has been created. Just a moment. This account balance test has been created in main only. So let me move it to the tests. Okay, so this is now in test. So with that, the account, we have the account, but the it has a constructor as well. So let's create the constructor. uh, Initial balance. We need to create field for this initial balance, which is done. And with that, we need to deposit some amount here. So let's create a method. And the last thing is about the current balance. So current balance should give me a int, or I should say long. So let's call everything long. Okay. So return 0. So it looks like my test case should work, but it says it should be 0. It should be integer, so, or long. So we should say long value of, or new long, $150. So let's see what is returning. Right now it's returning as long, so we can new long, and then I hope it should work. Insert that. So it should be integer. So the compilation works. Let's try to see if it works. It fails. So let's try to fix this one. So I deposit, so I add. So the balance becomes, I need to have a current balance is equal to, and right now the current balance is initial balance. Fine. And current balance is current balance plus deposit. And let's make it long as well. Deposit money. Fine. Current balance is not there, so let's create this one. This is all about it. And let's try to see the current balance, which it should give as a current balance like this. This works. And we don't need the current balance field as of now. So let's remove this one. And try to run the test. So it works. Let's create another test. And that test is should see $50, 50 when withdraw $50 from account. And from account. With that, let's try to add same thing, account, new account, 100, account dot withdraw 50, and let's assert that new long account balance and is 50. Okay, so something is wrong here, so let's see this one. Yes, I think that's it. Spelling mistake. Okay, so it looks like this thing compiles. This thing is not compiling as of now, so we need to make sure that it compiles. So we need to create a method called withdraw, and let's say long withdraw money, fine. And so with that, let's try to run again. So right now it's compiling, but if you see the test case fails. So let's try to make it pass. And what I need to do is with that, current balance is equal to minus is equal to withdraw money. And that's about it. So if I run the test case again, it passes. And then let's try to see the exceptional scenario. So test. So if I try to withdraw more money than the count has, it should not do that. So let's try to see how it should work. Should see 50 when withdraw 100 from account. Again, before we write the another test, let's try to see if there is any kind of duplication of what we have done so far. So on account, both things are duplicate. So let's try to move them to the init method. So before init, and let's try to move this one here. We can make it as a field. So make it as a field count, and then we can remove the duplication. So let's try to run again. It works. So let's try to run the last test case here. Um, so what I want to do is account dot withdraw. I want to withdraw $100 and assert that um, new long account dot current balance is new long 50. Fine. And something is wrong here. So let's try to figure that out. Some I just copy paste from here. Let's save time and let's try to run it. So it fails. So let's try to change that, and so we have to change this method withdraw if current balance is less than withdraw money. Right. So if the current balance is less than withdraw money, then it should return. And let's try to see that. So it's again fails. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to withdraw 150. Okay. Uh, and it should show 100, for example, here. What I'm trying to do is I have $100. I want to withdraw 150. I should still see the $100. Fine. So let's try to do that, and it should work. So that works. So um, because of the time constraints, we may not be able to continue the third problem. And but the point is that with these two problems scenarios, you should be able to understand how the test driven development really works. I agree that it is very important that we really focus on the complicated problems as part of this session, but I think what we can do is we can focus on that in our next session, which we will be having multiple classes, multiple test cases. So with the test cases, you are able to refactor multiple classes. So we can see that scenario in the next session, but because of time constraint, we have to stop here. So in case there are any questions, please write it over there in the Q&A section, and I'll try to answer them. One thing I want to say here is that while working with the test driven development, I have seen that it can only work when the person who is working on it has a good understanding of the design principles and different smells, refactoring. So if the guy is prepared, then test driven development becomes simple. But if those basic fundamental or the foundation elements are missing, then it may not matter what you are doing, whether it's a test driven development or something else. The code in question will remain same. So it is so this these design principles are very important when you start looking at the refactoring part. That's where they are very helpful to see what is the smell you see right now in the class in question and how to refactor that out. And if you have those ideas in your mind, you can basically you apply them and refactor the code further. So in our next session, we'll be focusing on that refactoring part as well. So let me see if there are any questions as of now. Are there any questions? You can write in the Q&A section. I don't see any questions right now, so I'll stop the podcast. And uh, thank you for coming to this webinar, and uh, let's work on another session, and we'll come back on the test driven development. Thank you very much.